Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this video, I'm finally going to be able to talk about the beginner treasure spawn. I'm not going to be able to talk about it right here. It disappeared for me. I was unlucky like usual. This game does not like me whatsoever. And it's just like, you're not getting your stellar guide to the last treasure spawn. I was hoping to only have to do 4 spawns. You're guaranteed within 6 spawns absolutely to get 1 stellar god helmet piece, 1 stellar god armor piece, 1 weapon, an Athena monster series, like original Athena, and original Valkyrie monster series. But it didn't allow me to get my stellar god pieces, which the only things I really went for, and I'll talk about that in a second, until my last spawn. And then after my last spawn, the whole thing disappeared. It didn't even allow me to even scope it out. It just straight up disappeared off my screen. So that's the reason it's not going to be there for me. So I'm going to be having to talk about it right here, and I'll send out the spawn video of me actually spawning it sometime later. But anyways, moving on from there, this right here is the definition of a beginner treasure spawn. I mean, not beginner treasure spawn, but the actual beginner spawn. The previous things they've been doing with the beginner spawn, absolutely, that's a big fat no-go personally. That beginner spawn is way outdated, and it's just not worth it anymore. And even if it was, it's just stealing those nice beginner rates that you start off with. So it's not like it's not a great boost. It's absolutely not a great boost. This spawn right here is like by far a greater beginner spawn, and by far, if you're starting off the game, I would highly recommend doing this. This spawn really will help you. If you don't have cost 30 or higher ultra rares, definitely recommend this. All hands down recommend this. This is going to be 15 gems to spawn, and it's not going to be 15 gems for your first time half off, and then the rest is 30 gems. No, the whole spawn itself will be 15 gems. You're only going to be able to do it 6 times, but for sure, it is definitely worth the price it is. All hands down, no questions asked. So let's actually get to this. Okay, so the 10 spawn, the gear spawn, when it says spawn 10 like it does right here, right, the gear spawn right here, it's gonna have a it's not gonna be 6, but it's gonna be 4.01% rates or something like that. But you are guaranteed, they have a guaranteed list, and you are guaranteed one of the Athena pieces, gear pieces or armor pieces or whatever. You're guaranteed one of the weapons or armors, and they're all gonna be 30 costs. So that's what I'm saying is, you don't have 30 costs or higher ultra rares, this is definitely going to be worth it, all hands down, no questions asked. Plus, they're going to be coming out with the fully reforgeable, or the next level of reforgeable Valkyrie and Lilith or something like that. So definitely, if you don't have Valkyrie, you might want to look into this. Now, you will be there will be a random Valkyrie you will be getting, so it may not be just the original Valkyrie, but you definitely do have an opportunity and shot within the chest itself to actually obtain Valkyrie. I think it's like 1 out of 6. I'll talk about that in a second. But anyways, yeah, you're guaranteed one with the Athena gear pieces. Very nice stuff right there. The weapons have seal of, so they're an excellent skill from beginning to end game. Absolutely, having something that increases the damage, like ability power buff, which usually skills are ability power buff wise, and then adding 5 costs to it, and on top of it having high proc rates to actually get that 5 costs back, really will help out later in the game. Trust me, if it won't help out right now, it's definitely going to help out later. It's probably going to help out whether you're beginning the game to the very end of the game itself. So definitely having something like that is definitely very nice, and it's definitely going to help out for sure, let me tell you. Okay, so the next thing is the armors. I'm not sure if they have like reflection reduction, reflection XL, or damage down XL, but if they have any of those skills, definitely nice armors, because there are armors that have like let me show you right here. I think I have one equipped. I can actually show you from here. Reflection XL, like this right here. Reflection XL reduces physical and magical damage. It does 2 in 1, because there's stuff that is like physical reflection or magical reflection. They count as the same skill, even though they work differently. One reduces physical, one reduces magical. So only 2 of them at once can proc. You can throw as many as you want on, so that way they're more likely to proc. I'm not gonna say they don't fuse it to one big rate. It's not multiplied, it's added. So that's pretty much how it's going to work out. Is it's not multiply, it's added. So it won't fuse it to one big rate. That's not how it's going to work. So go look at individual rate, and then it's going to go to the next one if it fails, and then it's going to go to the next one if it fails. But anyways, moving on from there, Yeah, there's ones that only do physical and there's ones that only do magical, and if you can have one that does like both, if you could have honestly as much as you want that do both, that's definitely going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to be a lot more helpful because I'm pretty sure within one mission you're fighting multiple enemies that do both physical and magical damage, and having both definitely will help out more. It is a lot more efficient, so that way you can add a lot more skills, and it's just going to help out a lot more. So they have those abilities, definitely very nice abilities. They are 30 cost, so they're going to be a bit outdated, but if you're beginning this game, by far this is a good deal, because this will get you this will definitely allow you to climb a few steps up to end game material by far, and very quickly, because with most spawns, even though you're a beginner, you're not guaranteed to get stuff, but if you stick to this beginner spawn right here, this exact treasure one, not the one that recently came out, I'm not sure what's going on with that one, where they say they guarantee you when you are, but this one right here, you're guaranteed to get stuff that's going to help you, and it's going to make you stronger, as long as you don't have 30 cost or higher ultra rares, and even if you do, if you only have a few, then you could definitely still do this. But anyways, moving on from there, that's how that's pretty much going to play out. And then on top of it, they're guaranteeing you a super XP quest key. So it's not just a regular XP quest key, it's a super XP quest key. And let me tell you, as a beginner, if you get this and you use this right away, you're going to jump around 20, 30, 40, 50 levels. Depends on where you are right now as your level. Or maybe only even 5, 10, depends. If you use it at like level 100, you may only jump like 5 levels, 3 levels, 10 levels, something like that. But with the super XP quest key, it gives a lot of XP. It gives around, I think, somewhere around like 1 to 6 million XP. And yes, I'm not kidding you. It gives somewhere around 1 to 6 million XP. If you want to check it out, if you want more info on that, I'll link down below how to get XP super fast with XP quest keys, so that way you could really get the maximum XP off these super XP quest keys, because with these super XP quest keys are not something you could easily obtain by far, unless you spend lots of gems on them, and that's only when they're out, because they're not out very much. They're really not out very much. So definitely you want to be careful with your super XP quest keys, and when you have them, let me tell you, they really do work. But anyways, moving on from there, so not only do they have the super XP quest keys, but you're guaranteed one treasure chest, and within the treasure chest you're guaranteed a selection of things. So let's actually talk about that. Okay, so one of the treasure chests will contain one of the Stellar God series monsters guaranteed. So you're guaranteed one of these Stellar God series monsters right off the bat. 29 cost, have awakening. Very nice if you're starting off. I remember there was a day where these used to be extremely OP, and back when 33 costs were still a thing, these were still highly used, just because there wasn't much like extremely OP abilities as there is now. But yeah, if you're definitely starting off, these are definitely nice monsters to have, all hands down, no questions asked. They still have useful abilities, so they're not useless monsters yet ability wise. They're just not the best anymore. They're not. So anyways, moving on from there, another chest is guaranteed one of the Stellar God series weapons. So you're guaranteed one of the weapons. Now these are going to be a bit outdated. Back then when these first came out, definitely OP. I'm not gonna say they were the best. They might have been, might have not. I wasn't there when the Stellar God first came out, but there's a weapon set, Kumbahira's weapon set, right? I actually have the bow, so I can actually show you. Kumbahira does both in one and has a significantly higher cost. So with that being said, those are outdated, but definitely as a beginner, all hands down, like said, stuff like that's gonna really help you out. Sacred Almighty Seal reduces ability cooldown times by 20% and recovers 5 cost, and does what a regular Testament XL would do all in one. This one's only gonna reduce cooldown time, and it's going to do what a regular Testament XL will do. So like said, it's gonna be outdated, but they're still useful if you're beginning or you don't have a lot of 32 cost stuff. For sure it's going to help out, especially if you get it of your class. It's probably not going to help out if you don't get it of your class, because it's going to be random. You're not guaranteed to get the one of your class, but you're guaranteed to get one of any of them. Okay, so moving on from there, this is what I'm talking about right here. And one of the chests, they guarantee one of the Stellar God series headgear. And then the other chest, you're guaranteed with the Stellar God series body gear. So that's what I was chasing after. That's why I don't have that anymore. And it was I'm telling you right now, it's definitely worth all my 85 gems. I didn't want to use 85 gems because that means I spawned 6 times. I actually wanted to spawn 4 times, but it was definitely worth it, all hands down, because I've been waiting so long to get these. And previously, when they had them in the treasure spawn, they were pretty expensive compared to the price they are now, all hands down. It just beats the competition away. And then another chest, you're guaranteed the Athena series monsters, so you can obtain any of those. And then the other chest right here, like I said, you can obtain the Valkyrie series monsters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, and they got Midsummer Valkyrie in here too. So that is actually a 1 out of 7 chance that you're actually going to be able to obtain Battle Valkyrie for when she can be reforged to a 38 cost Battle Valkyrie. And yes, they're adding an update eventually. I'm not sure when. I think it's going to be a little after RGB and Grand Tournament, but they're going to be adding 38 costs, and she's going to be I think she's going to be one of the first 38 costs that are going to come out. So that's pretty much how that's going to play out and everything surrounding that. You're going to have to get materials for her. If you want info on that, actually, I'll just put a picture up above what it's going to look like, so that way you could farm all that stuff before she even actually gets to 38 cost, or farm at least a handful of it. You're not going to be able to farm all of it because some of it hasn't came out, but some of it you still be able to farm while you have this current update in Unison League until you have that current update in Unison League, that is. So anyways, moving on from there. It's definitely worth it if you're beginning this game, but would it be worth it if you are end game or mid game? My answer to that is probably, but not definitely. See, with this treasure spawn or beginner treasure spawn, they guarantee you the Stellar God armor. And with the Stellar God armor, they have a skill called damage reduction. It has a skill called damage reduction. It is the only armor. This is the issue. It's the only armor in the game that has a skill. I thought they were going to eventually update it and give some other armor that is 36 cost or 37 cost, perhaps even, or maybe even 35 cost, this skill. But nope, this is the only armor still to this day in this game that has this skill. And with this skill, it massively reduces physical and magical damage taken, and it's cost effect during battle, so it's guaranteed to be happening, and it's going to happen 24/7 throughout the battle. Nothing you can do to remove it or anything. The reason I'm saying this is very useful is because this also works with Unison damage. That's right, this also works with Unison damage. In fact, until the crystal, I'm not sure if they get like the next awakening, because they're gonna have like an ultra rare awakening. It's not gonna be called ultra rare awakening, but it's gonna have like a 4th awakening. But as its 3rd awakening, as its ultra rare that it has right now in global as I speak, the ability Unison ability power down ability, the Stellar God armor actually reduces slightly more damage than this. That's why I'm saying this is going to be very useful. If you ever see people survive Unison, they have both Stellar God pieces. With constant effects, you could only stack 2 of them, so you could really only use 2 of them in the first place. But if you ever see people survive Unison, that's one of the reasons they survive Unison, is because they have 2 Stellar God, any armors on. You don't need to just have one helm and 1 armor piece. They have 2 of any Stellar God armors on, so that way they could survive Unison. So that's one reason people survive Unison. If you ever seen them survive Unison, that's one of the reasons, is because of the Stellar God armor. So that's why I'm saying this is going to be very, very useful for guild battles, and this can be useful still towards endgame, is because of that. So definitely, if you want to work on a strategy surrounding that, or if you just want to survive Unison, if it's like, there's really only 2 defense, these are almost near requirement, whether you're being frontline or backline. Frontline, this is the perfect frontline set or defense constant effect you want to have. The second one would be if you are going backline being like DPS and stuff like that, you want to have on reflection reduction. Reason for that being is just in case you hit a barrier when you're attacking the crystal, taking 1 damage back will definitely help out, so that way you can continue doing damage to the crystal. If I have one, no, I have one, I just need to show you right here. This is the second one, this is the backline one. So definitely, if you're frontline, or perhaps you are trying to tank Unison damage, that's what one of your guildmates wants, one of your guild leaders, or perhaps say that's one of the strategies you have involved and orientated around, or perhaps you want to be more flexible for when maybe you have a new strategy and it may require it, you definitely can grab this. So that's why I'm saying it's going to be useful. That's why I spent my 85 gems, and that's how it's going to be useful for endgame and mid-game people. Other than that, if you're already set on that scenario situation, or perhaps you don't care, you're just going to be backline for the rest of your life, it's not going to be worrisome for you whatsoever. So that's my intake on the spawn. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.